Hello everyone, welcome to today's video where I'll be reacting to your baby K-pop stand confessions. I do want to preference that this video will have a part 2 because there were so many confessions, but let's get into it. I thought Chan was cold and mean. I thought Han and Changbin were the same person. Hyunjin used to annoy me to no end. I love that man to the moon and back now. I thought Lee No really hated Stay. I thought Felix was the youngest. I thought Han was really British. I really can only say one thing to this: you are completely wrong. Han Jisung is most definitely a British man who lives in the royal palace. Confession 2. As a baby Midzi in 2019, I used to get Yuno and Liar confused so much, which baffles me now because they look nothing alike, lol. I honestly was sitting here, pondering how in the world you got those two mixed up, but it happens to the best of us. As a current baby Zenny, I'm sad I didn't jump on the net train sooner. The group is very funny, put out lots of content, and have many consistent music releases. I'm annoyed at myself because now NCT is already an established 7-year-old group. They might be nearing the end of their lifespan. Less support from SM. I regret not getting to know the group better years ago. I completely understand where you're coming from. I felt the same way when I first started standing VIXX. They literally had their last comeback before going on this long indefinite hiatus, and I did feel some type of way because like I joined so late, but at the same time you have to realize just because group may been established for a long time doesn't mean you still can enjoy the thing have already. They still have music, content and other things for you to join along. So yeah, you joined the NCT party late, but that's okay because NCT still have many things to offer and I believe they are not going anywhere anytime soon. Confession 4. At first, I didn't understand why anyone would be a Lee No buyer. Yeah, I had to stop because as a person who heavily bias Lee No, I felt offended. Confession 5. At the beginning I didn't know who Jisung and Minho were, as in I knew Han and Lee No but not their real first names. Beaming face with smiling eyes. Beaming face with smiling eyes. I honestly don't know what to say to this other than good job. Confession 6. Didn't know the concept of NCTU and was trying to find Johnny in Boss MV. Wait, what do you mean? Johnny was in Boss, just look at him. Confession 7. Distinguishing Bang Chan and Changbin killed me. I kept calling Chan Chen and Binny was Cheng IDK. I also couldn't tell Felix or Hyunjin apart for the longest of times. Honestly, there's so many of these are similar to this answer that I should have kept count, but I didn't because I'm too lazy for that. Confession 8. For a long time I couldn't remember IN name, so I just called him Fox Baby. That's valid and I would do the same thing. Confession 9. For like a good month, I had no idea that Soonmin and Minho were two separate people. I was constantly thinking one was the other. You know what I just realized after reading this? That being a K-pop stand is a struggle and takes patience to learn all their face and names. We deserve to get compensated. Confession 10. For some reason kept mixing up Jisung and Winwin. I thought they looked too similar. Same before I even knew anything about NCT, or was even a san. I had bought a pack of LMAO cards, and I literally could not tell anyone apart and was mixing up Jisung and Winwin and Doyoung. Confession 11. For the longest time I couldn't differentiate Lee No and IN. Well, they are sisters. Confession 12. Ladded way to the playlist long before I realized they were an NCT subunit. I didn't understand the full picture until I really dug into NCT 127 after 2 Baddies was released. I felt so dumb. Don't feel bad, sadly again it happens to the best of us. Confession 14. Always mixed Hansel and Utah back in the SM rookies days. For anyone who doesn't know who Hansel is, the one on the right is Utah and the one on the left is Hansel, I think. Also stan his group New Kid. Confession 15. I confused Doyoung and Jungwoo. I mean they both had black hair during the late night Punch show. Also I confused XJ, Vi, and HD. It was the brows. Their beautiful brows. 5. I almost confused Utah and Taeyong. I was a little confused by this and looked up a picture of Jungwoo and Doyoung during Punch and I literally do not see the similarities. But hey. Also, how in the world was Xiaojun mixed up with Hendry and Yangdang? Especially with those two bushy eyebrows on his face. Confession 16 to 18 of Stays not being able to tell Jeongin apart from another SKZ member except Changbin. I could not tell Jeongin and Lee No apart, even for the sake of my life. I could not tell Soonmin and In apart for the longest time. I could not tell Soonmin and In apart. Confession 19. I could have gotten into NCT way earlier if I understood the concept and T7s better. It took me almost 2 years away and make a wish plus Shotaro to become a Czeni. Well, glad you became one and welcome because you know what better, late than never. Confession 20. I couldn't pronounce any of their names for the longest time. I thought Chan and Felix weren't Korea at first because they spoke such good English. I first watched the MVS and thought that Soonmin was the leader. When I got into Kpop I also had trouble pronouncing their names, but those tutorial videos on how to pronounce the name are very helpful. Confession 21. I couldn't tell the difference between Soonmin and In. I would call Bangshan Changbin and Changbin Bangshan. I thought Minho and Lee No were different people. I thought Jisung and Han were different people. I thought Yongbok and Felix were different people. I couldn't tell W at and In apart at first. At this point, idols need to wear name tags for the first few months, so everybody will know who to. Confession 22. I didn't like Bangshan and Changbin because they seemed tough and mean. I was so wrong. No, I see where you're coming from because it's these two softies are totally scary. Confession 23. I didn't like Chan because I thought he was mean and
bombastic side eye.
I also disliked Hyunjin because I thought he was a bully.
Criminal offensive side eye.
But I was so wrong. Chan is my bias now. He's the best leader, always thinking about the welfare of the members. Confession 24. I didn't like Felix because I thought he's playing Hyunjin. I saw many shipping videos where he was shipped with Hyun but were touchy and flirty with others, so I disliked him for playing with Hyunjin's feelings. Also thought Lino is cold bitch now.
I am very uncomfortable with the energy that we've created in the studio today.
25. I didn't know NCT Dream started so young, and thought any pics of them younger was because they were involved in the entertainment industry separately from being an idol. I'd be like, oh, Mark and Jimin must have known each other for so long. What a coincidence. NCT most definitely can be a confusing group. Confession 26. I was incapable of remembering Lee No at first. I'd be trying to memorize their names, and list them all off and only have 7 names because I forgot Minho. Now he's my second bias. As a Lee No stan, I'm proud of you. Confession 27. I used to think Chaeyoung was the eldest due to her participation in 16. Honestly, same when I found out she was debuting, I thought she was gonna be the oldest in the leader. Confession 28. I used to compare Limitless and WAP the beginning of the 2 songs. I curiously want to know why you did this, like seriously, like what was the reason? Confession 29. Used not know the difference between Bangshan and Changbin because they both had Chan in it. I couldn't tell who was Soonmin and who was In, and I still can't. They look and sound too similar. TT. I never knew what Yeji sounded like until a few weeks after I became a midzy. Wait, how in the world did you go so long without knowing what she sounded like? Well, here's small reminder for everyone.
I like the beautiful sea, I just to be happy.
Confession 30. I stand 17 and NCT around the same time and used to think Doyoung was in 17. You know what, honestly I think Doyoung wasn't NCT. He would fit right in with 17. Well, everyone, it's time for the video to come to an end again. I want to thank everyone for submitting their confessions. Not only that, there will be a part 2 because there was so many, most likely a part 3 again. Thank you for watching.